will apparently just become more accessible. It is no wonder that when the American people finally had the chance to see what was in this hideous bill, it was so unpopular that my Republican counterparts had to rebrand the name. But just because you put working families in the title doesn't mean you are not screwing them over. The reality is there is no amount of sugarcoating that can undo the damage that will be done by this disastrous legislation.
Oh, this one was different. Democrats tried to torch the big beautiful bill like it was the villain in a superhero movie. And then a Super Bowl champion calmly walked in and dismantled the whole performance with straight facts. No yelling, no drama, just capitalism, accountability, and a reality check. They blamed Republicans for 16 years of government control like it started 6 months ago. The hypocrisy was doing backflips. If you're tired of watching America get trashed by people who thrive in the system they claim is broken, hit like, subscribe, and stay right here. Let's watch the full clip before I give you the full breakdown.
Colleagues claim that their solution in the one big beautiful bill will somehow make college cheaper for working families. This is the same bill that cut $1 trillion out of Medicaid and over $180 billion from SNAP. The logic is hard to follow. By leaving millions without health care and struggling to buy groceries, higher education will apparently just become more accessible. It is no wonder that when the American people finally had the chance to see what was in this hideous bill, it was so unpopular that my Republican counterparts had to rebrand the name. But just because you put working families in the title doesn't mean you are not screwing them over. The reality is there is no amount of sugarcoating that can undo the damage that will be done by this disastrous legislation.
I want to start off with just, first of all, agreeing, Ms. Morgan, with your comments about how bad things are. Explosion of tuition, enrollment in which kids come in, they enroll, they quit, they leave with debt they'll never pay off, with job skills they'll never have, and not be able to really build the American dream. But this isn't from the last 6 months of the Family Working Tax Plan. It's from the last 16 years when in 2010, President Obama, through the Affordable Care Act, took everything from the private sector and put it into the government. So the government has controlled this for the last 16 years. We cannot look at the last 6 months and say because our reforms, all these things are happening. We're now about to take care of that. I think the biggest thing that I'm concerned about is how little we know in our country about capitalism. We are the #1 destination in the world because of something called capitalism. Now, just quickly, what does capitalism mean and what does it mean to this industry here? It's about return on investment. It's competition, it's merit, it's value, and the product of all that is profit. Now, if it's a good program, there's a lot of profit, which it should be. It should spread throughout the entire country. People should be wanting to take advantage of it. If it's a terrible product, it should go broke. What we're finding out is that the government is insulated from this concept. They can have a terrible competition, no value, no merit, and still make a lot of profit off the customer, the students, who pay their life's blood for the rest of their life trying to pay off loans. So we need to get back to teaching that. I think that when I listen to my friends here from Utah and Florida, I'll say this about Utah. We lead the country in terms of small business startups. There's an entrepreneurial concept. There's a culture in which we're trying to figure out how to give the best return on investment to where we're dealing with. And I think the same thing, the way I listen to how you guys are solving things, same thing with Florida. We need to realize that government solutions have never worked. I just came back from Latin America last week. They are realizing after the last couple of years, they want to get away from that stuff. So no, it is not the government that's going to give us the out of this. It's going to be entrepreneurs, innovators, those who truly are in the game for the right reasons. That is to make sure our kids are #1, and not the institutions, not the professors, not those around just kind of sucking in everything they can from government payouts. So I'm excited about the fact that we're having this conversation. We can all agree it's broken. It's cost too much. We're getting too little of a return on investment with our kids coming out, not being prepared to go to work, not being hopeful for their future, being angry about everything. That's not what our education should be about. And the other thing is this. Let's just make sure we're transparent enough that everyone realizes they don't have to go into debt to go to four-year college. How about trades? If that could be their way out, if they could look at that as being their way to achieve their dreams, let them go for that. I think it's very helpful that we finally have competition for higher education. It's going to make higher education better. It's going to make sure that the best prove themselves, and outcomes will allow parents to say, okay, I will invest in this, or the kids will invest in this because it'll give me a good return on investment. And if it does not, then that institution should go broke, period. So I'm excited about the fact we're finally, over the last 6 months, putting in reforms. 6 months.
Now that you've seen it, let's talk about why that Republican absolutely flattened the narrative. Democrats stood there blaming this bill for tuition costs, debt, Medicaid, SNAP, basically everything short of bad weather. Like higher education didn't explode under government control for the last 16 years. 16 years. Since the federal takeover of student loans under the Affordable Care Act, Washington has been running the show. Tuition skyrocketed. Enrollment ballooned. Kids walked away with debt and no job skills. But somehow we're supposed to believe the last 6 months caused the mess? That's not analysis. That's deflection. Then came the part that hit hardest: capitalism. The word Democrats treat like it's a villain in a comic book. He broke it down so simply it hurt. Return on investment. Competition. Merit. Value. Profit follows performance. If a product is good, it thrives. If it's garbage, it goes broke. That's accountability. That's how you protect students from being milked for loans they'll pay off for the next 40 years. And what did he expose? Government is insulated from failure. No competition. No consequences. No incentive to improve. Universities can underperform, overcharge, and underdeliver, and still get paid. By taxpayers. By students. By everyone. That's not compassion. That's a protected monopoly. And when he pivoted to trades, that's when the elitism really got uncomfortable. Because the truth is, not every kid needs a 4-year ideological boot camp and 6-figure debt. Trades build the country. Entrepreneurs build the country. Small businesses build the country. That's not radical. That's American. What made this powerful wasn't volume. It was calm confidence. He didn't attack America. He defended it. He didn't whine about oppression. He talked about opportunity, discipline, responsibility. The system worked for him because he worked in the system. That message hits harder than any slogan. Democrats want to sell dependency as compassion. Republicans are selling empowerment and accountability. And in that room, one side sounded tired and defensive. The other sounded like it believed in this country. That's why this exchange mattered. Because when you strip away the theatrics, one side was blaming the system. The other was reminding everyone why the system made America the destination of the world.